Camera rolling. And 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Leadership Sketches, our weekly reality check on creative leadership. Every week I want to share ideas, best practices, and concepts about creativity, leadership, and everything in between. In this sketch, we are going to talk about serendipitous creativity, and this is our sketch number 2. Now, there are a couple of things that we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about the idea of rejection idea. Number 2, we are going to talk about biases. And we are going to also talk about something that is very trending now, which is AI. Now, this sketch is named Serendipitous Creativity, but the real question is why most of the time people tend to reject our ideas, or simply in general, people tend to reject new ideas. This is something I'm quite passionate about, and it took me a while to figure this thing out, but I feel the foundation of why people reject new ideas lays in our biases. So I will try to cheat a little bit here and see if the machine can help me draw a perfect circle. Let me see. Oh, look, perfect. Fantastic. And so let's begin in understanding why do we, let me link these two elements. So I'll actually try to move this one and I'll talk about biases first. There is a powerful bias that we all are subject to, which is called the confirmation bias, which is this idea that if we look at this circle, right, and we let me see, confirmation bias. Okay, so this is imagine that this circle is our knowledge, right? Is our field of knowledge, which means here inside of this circle of knowledge, we have all our knowledge. We have what we call also our conventional knowledge. No, so I will do conventional shapes. So the triangle, the circle, the square, the rectangle. Okay, so this is and let's see. These are all sorts of knowledge and ideas that we have and that we possess. Now, what happens is that the confirmation bias tells us that we tend to prefer, or we tend to choose ideas that are within our field of competence, within our knowledge, right? The interesting part is that the more knowledgeable we are, the more ideas and the more, we can say, the smarter we are, the more educated we are, the more we have studied, the higher our position, the higher the experience we have, the more we tend to reject everything that is beyond our knowledge. Because sometimes we say, I've done this before, I've seen this before. But what is it? What's outside of our conventional knowledge? Well, outside of our conventional knowledge, we have all sorts of interesting things. We have stars, we have diamonds, right? Actually, let me see. We have beautiful diamonds, right? We have diamonds. We have all sorts of organic shapes. We have unconventional concepts. that are outside of our conventional knowledge, right? Now, all of this are beyond our reach if we just focus on the things that we know. And this is why, for instance, my experience both as an educator and as an entrepreneur, sometimes as a design entrepreneur, when you present to a client an unconventional idea, this idea, let's say that, okay, we are presenting this idea. If this idea is beyond their comfort zone, beyond their knowledge, they tend to reject this idea because it's too far. It's too far away from what they are used to, from what they see. You know, let's say that we are at the center of this circle, and they cannot connect the dots. And this is what creativity is all about. Is about connecting dots that previously we believed they were outside of our knowledge, but now we are able to bring this idea inside our knowledge. And this is the same problem that I see when we see the evolution of all these wonderful tools that are coming out, Google and OpenAI and the artificial intelligence. They are wonderful tools, but I feel they have an issue. The issue is that sometimes we need what we call is serendipitous creativity, which means sometimes we have to break, let me see if I can break it. We have to break the barrier of our conventional knowledge. We have to open some gates. We have to open these gates, and we have to venture outside of our conventional knowledge. We have to take this stroll and try to explore, and being here at the edge of our conventional knowledge to try and look and discover all sorts of interesting and fantastic things. Now, there was an interesting exercise that I used to make with my students, which was when I asked them to make some research, I will ask them to go into the library and search for a book, a specific book, let's say, within the shelf of the library, right? I don't know. Let's say graphic design of the 20th century or something like that. And then, so let's imagine that this was the book, right? This is the book that they were looking for. Of course, I did my research first, right? So 20th century design. And then I will ask them to pick up either the adjacent book or the book in the row below. Not only this book, but also the book behind or below. And try to explore and find interesting things, even if there were books that had nothing to do with this 20th century design. Let's say that you find this anatomy, right? You discover this book about anatomy or botanics or whatever. Now, this process allows what I call serendipitous creativity, which means you are able to bring in within your knowledge all sorts of interesting stuff that you previously couldn't even see or couldn't even think. And this is where my suspicion about all this technology and AI, which we saw, right, especially with generative AI, which is you need to craft a very specific prompt. But if you have to craft a specific prompt, means that you need to rely on things that you know. So this kind of random, we can say, research is not going to happen, because unless you say to the machine that you are going to look for 20th century design and then link that with anatomy or botanics, this is not going to happen. The machine is not going to give you this random thought, this serendipitous thought. And I feel there is a wealth of information that can happen just by taking a stroll and going outside and trying to connect dots that previously were far away. So this is an important part of our creativity, which is try to find all those interesting things that are beyond our conventional knowledge, and try to take these things and bring them in within your view, and try to fight constantly this bias which says, I'm right because I believe I am. And let me know what you think in the comments or in our community. How would you foster this serendipitous creativity? What would you do to challenge yourself and try to go beyond what you know? As usual, this is Leadership Sketches. I'm Gianluca Cinquepalmi. And don't forget, until next sketch, inspire, challenge, and disrupt.